Have you ever looked up at the end of a long day, completely exhausted, and realized you have almost nothing to show for it? You worked for 8, maybe 10 hours, answered every message, put out every fire, and somehow the whole day just disappeared. Meanwhile, some of the richest people on the planet seem to have found a way to bend time itself, running multiple companies, writing books, building entire empires, all while somehow still finding time to sleep, work out, and spend time with their families. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down 5 laws of time used by the ultra-wealthy, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why being busy and being productive were never the same thing. Stick around until the end, because law number 5 is the one habit almost every self-made millionaire shares, and it takes less than 60 seconds a day to practice. Not because you were lazy, but because the day ran you instead of the other way around. One interruption bleeding into the next, until there was nothing left to give to the things that actually mattered. Here's the thing most people get wrong about time. They treat it like an unlimited resource, something they'll have more of tomorrow, next week, next year, so it's fine to waste a little of it today. But the wealthy understand something the rest of us usually learn far too late. Money can always be earned back. You can lose it, go broke, and rebuild an entire fortune from nothing. Time never works that way. Once it's gone permanently. No loan, no investment, no lucky break brings a wasted afternoon back. That's the entire foundation this video is built on. Warren Buffett has said it plainly. He can buy nearly anything he wants in this world, except more time. That single shift in thinking changes everything about how a person spends their day. The rich don't actually have more hours than you do. They still only get 24, same as everyone else. They just refuse to waste the ones they have. So let's break down the 5 laws that make up their system and how you can start applying them starting today. Number 1. The law of the hourly rate. Every highly successful person, whether they'll admit it out loud or not, has a number sitting in the back of their mind, a dollar value they've quietly assigned to 1 hour of their own time. Once you know that number, every decision in your day becomes simple math instead of a guessing game. Is this task worth more or less than my hourly rate? If it's worth less, and you can pay someone else to do it, you delegate it immediately and move on. This is why wealthy entrepreneurs pay someone to mow their lawn, clean their house, or run their errands, even when they could technically do all of it themselves for free. It isn't laziness, it's math. If your time is worth $200 an hour, spending 3 hours doing yard work you could pay $40 for isn't saving money. It's quietly losing $560 in opportunity cost. Most people never do this calculation, so every hour feels equally disposable. Once you assign your own hour a real number, low-value busy work stops feeling productive and starts feeling like exactly what it is, a bad trade you wouldn't make on purpose. It also works in reverse. When a high-leverage task shows up, something that could move your income or your goals forward in a real way, that same hourly rate tells you it deserves your best hours, not whatever time happens to be left over at the end of the day. Number 2. The law of the 5 and 25. This law comes from Warren Buffett himself, from a story about his longtime personal pilot, Mike Flint. Buffett once asked Flint to write down his top 25 career goals on a sheet of paper. Then he told him to look the list over and circle only the 5 most important ones. Flint assumed the other 20 would become his side priorities, things he'd chip away at whenever he found spare time between the big 5. Buffett told him he was completely wrong. Those other 20 goals, he said, were now Flint's avoid-at-all-costs list, the things he had to ignore entirely until the top 5 were finished. This is the exact opposite of how most people operate. Most people try to make progress on 20 different goals at once and end up finishing none of them, spreading their focus so thin that nothing ever actually gets done. The rich understand that ruthless elimination isn't about doing less. It's about making sure the handful of things that actually matter don't get buried under a pile of good intentions. Number 3. The law of time blocking. Elon Musk has openly talked about scheduling his entire day in 5-minute increments. Not hour blocks, not 30-minute blocks, 5 minutes at a time. Every meeting, every task, every phone call gets assigned an exact slot on the calendar, and when that slot ends, he moves on to the next thing, whether the task is finished or not. This might sound extreme, but there's a real psychological reason it works. When time isn't scheduled, it quietly expands to fill whatever space you give it, a concept known as Parkinson's Law. A task that should realistically take 20 minutes will somehow stretch into 2 hours if you hand it an entire open afternoon. But when every single minute is already spoken for, your brain stops drifting and starts moving with urgency because there's nowhere left to hide from the clock. You don't need 5-minute blocks to benefit from this law. Even scheduling your day in 30-minute chunks forces a level of focus that an open, unstructured to-do list simply can't come close to matching. Most people's calendars are full of meetings and empty of actual work, which is exactly backwards. Time blocking flips that, treating your own priorities as appointments just as fixed and non-negotiable as anyone else's. Number 4. The law of the protected first hour. Nearly every self-made millionaire interviewed about their morning routine says some version of the same thing. The first hour of the day is sacred, and it's protected from email, texts, and everyone else's demands. This isn't a coincidence. Willpower and focus are highest the moment you wake up, and they steadily decline throughout the day as decisions and distractions pile on top of each other, one after another. Most people spend that peak hour scrolling their phone or answering other people's requests, essentially handing their best mental energy of the entire day to somebody else's priorities before they've even started their own. The wealthy protect that first hour fiercely for their single most important task, the one thing that actually moves their goals forward, before the world gets a chance to hijack their attention. By the time everyone else is just getting started, checking notifications and answering emails, they've already finished the one thing that mattered most. That head start compounds day after day, until a single protected hour each morning adds up to hundreds of extra hours of real progress by the end of the year. Number 5. The law of saying no. Steve Jobs once said that focus means saying no to 1,000 things, even good ideas, so you can give your full attention to the handful that actually matter. This is the law busy people struggle with most, because saying yes feels productive and generous in the moment, while saying no feels like you're missing out on an opportunity. But every yes you give to something unimportant is a quiet no to something that actually matters, whether you realize it in the moment or not. This is why wealthy, high-performing people are notoriously difficult to get on a meeting invite, and why so many of them live by one simple rule: if it isn't a full-body yes, it's an automatic no. It takes less than 60 seconds to decline a request that doesn't serve your priorities, but that one small habit, repeated daily, protects hundreds of hours a year that would otherwise quietly leak away into somebody else's agenda instead of your own. So there you have it, the 5 laws of time used by some of the wealthiest, most productive people on the planet. The law of the hourly rate, which turns every decision into simple math instead of a guessing game. The 5 and 25 rule, which forces ruthless focus on what actually matters and protects it from everything else. Time blocking, which keeps every minute accounted for instead of quietly drifting away unused. The protected first hour, which guarantees your best energy goes toward your biggest goal before the world gets a chance to steal it. And the law of saying no, which defends your calendar from everyone else's priorities so it can actually serve your own. None of these laws require more hours in the day, more money, or more luck to put into practice. They simply require you to start treating your time the way the wealthy already do, like the one resource on earth you can never earn back once it's gone. Put together, these 5 laws don't just save you time, they change what you do with the time you already have. Time was never really about being busy, it was always about being intentional. And now you have 5 of the best systems in the world to start doing exactly that, starting with the very next hour in front of you. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.